quality. All the fun stuff right here. So moving on to the slide, it kind of has a breakdown of all of what quality is. It is number one, but we're going to start with whole foods. What does whole foods mean? Most of the time everybody looks at it and they're like, I don't know what it means. It basically just means where it is closest to its original state. So examples, apples, eggs, grilled chicken, those are the ones that aren't processed. An example of not close to the whole foods, McDonald's, any kind of hamburger from there. So if you leave it on the counter and it stays great for months, that's probably processed on those. If you leave an apple on the counter, what does it normally do? Rots. Yeah, it goes bad pretty quickly. So that's what whole foods means, is being closest to its original state. Same thing with minimal processed foods. It was the same thing kind of example as the McDonald's one. That's a lot of processed food. That's where it can stay better longer. Moving to the next one, shopping the perimeter. So most of the time, if you've talked with Carrie or maybe a couple of the other coaches, we'll talk about grocery shopping. And that's what it means about shopping the perimeter. So if you look at, I don't have anything with that, but if you look at a grocery store and what is on the outside most of the time, refrigerators, vegetables, all those kind of nice organic or whole foods on there. If you go in between, that's where you get all the some, not a lot, processed boxes of pasta. A couple of other options are like where you're getting more of cookies, all that fun stuff in there. But that's where you're talking about shopping the perimeter, is where you'll stay closest to those whole foods. Relying on food prep, we could definitely talk about that too. Different people do it differently. Prime example, I do meal prep on Sundays and have the same meal throughout the whole week. That doesn't really work for most people. A couple other ones go into Red Apron over there, which is a nice, lovely thing to have it already available for you. And you can change out your meals throughout the week. Same thing with meal prep. You can also meal prep other meals throughout the week too. So if you get busy during lunchtime, meal prep your lunches. If you know that dinners are a challenge because you have kids, soccer, basketball, you're going to other events going on too, you can definitely make it easier and have that prepped throughout the week, or have it where you can conveniently go and grab it and make it really quickly. We'll definitely talk about that too. Less filling and unbalanced, that can look a little bit different. Here's some things to avoid when looking at labels. That's where you want to look at anything that you buy, like processed, whole foods. If you look at the label, just think less is more. So less ingredients means it's closer to that whole food. More ingredients means it's probably been processed a little bit more. So you could definitely kind of look at it. If it's like 5 or less, that's probably getting closer to that whole food. If it's 7, 10, 20, it's probably gone through a couple of process. So it's going to sustain and last longer, but it probably won't be better for your body. Probably it's not going to be better for your body. A couple of things that it was saying about looking at labels. High fructose corn syrup, the most common one that we all know, sodas. You can definitely talk about those. So a couple examples of some good ones. You can also switch it out for tea, water, a couple other options in there too that I'm probably not going to list right now. You can definitely talk about too, making sure palm oil, canola oil, or soybean, the most common one in most of those are dressings. So like ranch dressing, there's some other ones in there too that are having a heavy load of oil. Easiest way to trade that out, one, if you really, really like ranch dressing or any kind of dressing on your salad, you can, instead of dressing it and pouring it all on there, have it off to the side and dip it in there. It makes it less of a big bulk in there, and you can definitely kind of play around with it. That too. Perfect example that Emily was talking about. Make your own ranch dressing, own vinaigrette. You can definitely play around with it too. If you don't have time to do that, there are some other options. I'm going to butcher the name. It's Walden Farm. is a really good one. That doesn't have like soybean oil in there too, but it is very easy to make your own ranch dressing. Added sugars, what Chris was talking about, cookies, cakes, all that fun stuff. You can trade it out. I know they're super fun to do, but you don't want to do them all the time. So you can definitely trade them out for different stuff too, like fruits. You can play around with making your own cookies and stuff too that has less added sugar. Nitrates. This is the fun one to talk about. There's good and bad. Bad ones. Processed ham. You can definitely get those very easily at the store. You can switch them out for good nitrates, which is spinach, cabbage, carrots. You do need the good nitrates though. Refined grains. So anything that's like white flour, white rice. There's some other ones too. I wrote my examples down too. Bread, white bread. You could definitely trade those out and go into some different grains too, like wheat. There's some other ones too that like brown rice, oats. Those are really good ones to kind of switch in and out of. Cool. Quality. Lovely little slide right there. Cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
So meat from the deli that's not plastic prepackaged, like fresh cut meat from the deli, would that technically still be a nitrate? Or would that be like a in the middle option?
You would still have nitrates in there, but you would want to, it's better than the packaged one though. Okay. But you wouldn't want to like continually just keep on doing those. You can switch it out for other ones too. Cool. Like turkey. Turkey would be a good one to switch out with. Sliced turkey, ground turkey, sliced chicken too. Cool. Any other questions? Perfect. Moving on to Carrie.